Hello, and welcome to another edition of Good Deeds. It's brought to you by justserve.org. If you are looking for ways to get involved in the community, help make the community a better place, there are many organizations that are doing that and helping people on a daily basis. You can get involved through donating or volunteering your time. Find out more and find an organization to connect with at justserve.org. With me today is Sammy Ann McKibben from Atrium 916, and this organization is contributing a lot to the art scene in Sacramento and helping make this a better community through the arts. Welcome.
Thank you, Sheryl.
Thank you for doing what you're doing to promote the arts here in Sacramento. And maybe we could start out by finding out a little bit more about how long Atrium 916 has been around and what exactly it is and who you serve.
Absolutely. So we're a nonprofit that serves local artists and creative makers here in Sacramento. We have a bunch of different programs that we launched back in 2018. 2020, we got our space down in Old Sacramento, where we opened a few newer programs, including the shop and the gallery space with highlighted artists, which is my role. I am the gallery director and curator here.
That's fantastic. So tell me more about how you decide what artists to feature in Atrium 916.
So we have an online application process. Anybody who is a Sacramento local artist and who incorporates sustainability into their art can apply online, and then we give everyone an interview regardless of where you are in your artistic journey or your process. And during that interview, we look at your art and your products. We talk to you about which programs you might fit in, whether it is artistic mentorship, because you still have some growing to do, whether we feel you might fit in with our Saturday morning vending markets, or we can coach you into selling in the shop, or becoming a gallery highlight artist like Rich here. Rich Dills is our current highlighted artist here, and this is his work on the wall behind me, actually.
I think it's important that you're encouraging arts and creativity in Sacramento. I think as a lot of us found out during the early days of the shutdown and the pandemic, that creativity as an outlet is very therapeutic and very beneficial to mental health. Is that part of what you're seeing through the work that you're doing at Atrium 916?
Absolutely. We actually have a ton of artists who got their start during the pandemic. When we were all just looking for an outlet, looking for a way to create positivity and light and feel productive while we were in lockdown. A lot of people who had maybe some artistic inclination, or it had been a hobby before, all of a sudden had all this time as we're stuck in our houses to create. And I've seen so many artistic and creative businesses launched out of that, which, we don't always think about the positives that came out of that lockdown and that time that we were forced to put ourselves on rest. But we saw this huge blossoming in the Sacramento creative community and the artistic scene. And Rich actually got some inspiration for his show through that.
I was going to say, I could speak to that directly because when 2020 hit and everything shut down, my own business is doing art at parties, and the parties all shut down. And so this work that I'm displaying now grew out of the limitations of the pandemic. But then when the pandemic sort of ended, I didn't really know what the next step would be for the fine art that I've been doing. And I met Sammy Ann and learned about Atrium, and they've been really instrumental in helping me figure out what to do with my art as the next step, and introduced me to gallery showing, and hopefully I'll be able to take it from this launch point here to other galleries and more permanent installations, and it's really helped me grow to the next step. And it all came out of that pandemic sort of response. They're a wonderful stepping stone for artists who are just starting out, or who are just maybe, in the beginnings of this process, and they give you a chance to try things out. They keep the costs to a minimum for the artists so that it's manageable for us. They kind of coach us along in the whole process. Sammy Ann here has been absolutely wonderful as far as encouraging me to go from being, you know, somebody on Instagram and Facebook and doing the social media thing to actually having art in the real world. And Atrium and Sammy Ann have both been just really helpful for that.
It's fantastic. So, Sammy Ann, what type of art are you looking for, and what type of artists are you looking for future exhibitions at Atrium 916? I imagine you host many throughout the year.
We do. So the Gallery Highlight program brings in a different artist every month. So each month the show rotates, and our next artist is a photographer who just went on a trip to Europe, and he is actually a nurse. That's his full-time position, but the pandemic also kind of forced him into like finding creative space. And his name's JD Nims, so we'll have some fine art photography next month. The month after that, we have actually one of our own team members here, Laurel Morana, who is a sculpture artist, and we're really excited to host her. Yeah, she does some upcycle sculpturing.
Nice.
So all of these artists incorporate that sustainability aspect, and that's one of the core key components we look for, because our founder really believes that creatives are the future. We find those out of the box solutions that, you know, somebody who isn't an artist might not see initially, and part of that is making sure to incorporate that eco-friendly sustainability component, use recycled materials, find a totally unique way of looking at an issue, and basically flip it around and show the public, like, look what we can do here. Look at this like totally different perspective. Like Rich finding this method of printing on aluminum rather than using canvases or another medium that might not be as eco-friendly or biodegradable. All of our artistic products here that artists bring in have some sort of sustainability component as well.
Well, I'm excited to get down there and start viewing the exhibits. I feel like you can learn a lot about a community by just through the art that the artists that live in that community create. That's one of the things I love about Sacramento is all of the public art. You can just walk around Sacramento and just get a feel for this diverse community and the experiences here. And I love it.
Absolutely. You know, I think that's something that it's like a little hidden gem or secret of Sacramento, is that we've got this like thriving art scene. We've got the wide open walls featuring artists both from Sacramento and internationally. We have our First Friday and the Warehouse Creatives, like all of those like artistic communities that have so much overlap here that people don't even realize until they dip their toe in. And that's part of what we do here, is creating creative community and then helping creatives connect with those other jumping off points in town.
Well, thank you once again for all the work that you're doing in the community here in Sacramento for the arts community here in Sacramento. And if folks want to get more information about upcoming showings, or maybe there's an artist watching right now that would love to have their work featured, what's the best way to find out more and contact you?
Absolutely. If you go to atrium916.com, we actually have a contact button. We also have a tab labeled join, so you can join our artist database, apply to become a part of our creative community, and get started on that process of finding out more about our programs. We have our creative economy meetings where any artist can join, even if they haven't applied for the Atrium yet. You can come to these meetings and learn about grants and funding available in town. We compile all that information, both from private and public funding, and basically put it into like an hour-long meeting each time so that artists have it easily accessible in one place. But we'd love for everyone to just come visit us. We have like a really beautiful open patio, so it's like pandemic safe. We've got art activities that are good for all ages, crafts for kids down here, and we love when people come hang out and make art with us.
Well, I can't wait to get down there and check out the space in person. And thank you once again for being on Good Deeds to tell us more about Atrium 916.
Thank you for hosting me, Sheryl. It was really great to connect with you face to face.